Hello and welcome to our talk show. I'm Roshni Mangnani, the Executive Assistant at Infinium Global Research. I have Mr. Srikant Athavle with me as the co-host for this talk show. He is the founder and principal analyst of Infinium Global Research and Consulting Solutions, a firm based in Pune. Today's conversation will be about the roadmap to revival for SMEs worldwide in the hospitality industry post COVID-19. For today's talk show, we have curated the perfect variety of guest expertise and brought to you four profound speakers with immense knowledge and experience in the hospitality industry. Over to you, Srikant.
Hello, everyone. As most of us aware that a lot of problems have been faced by the industries due to COVID-19 situation. Uh, yes, this talk show is dedicated to hospitality industry and especially focusing on the small and mid-sized enterprises in order to identify and tackle the problems they would be facing post COVID-19. As we are well aware of the fact that there are a lot of vaccines under trial, there is a lot of discovery of drugs going on. So the situation may be under control in coming days. So what is the most important factor is the lack of motivation and lack of trust in the entrepreneurs in the hospitality industry. Hospitality and or you can say tours and travels industry is the one of the most affected industry due to COVID-19. So in order to focus the panic areas of this industry and to find the solutions, we have speakers with us today. Firstly, we have Mr. Anand Gavde, who is CA and who is qualified FCA, RV, and DISA. He garners more than 20 years of experience in audit and taxation, valuation, and restructuring. He has handled more than 300 assignments in various startups, intangibles, listed and unlisted companies. He's also a trainer of in valuations. So today he would be sharing some insights on how the financial strategies can help the hospitality companies to overcome the challenges created by the COVID-19 situation. He would also focus on merger and acquisitions and upcoming financial schemes by various governments. A special focus would be given on the Indian government's policies to revive the business in India. Then we have Mr. Sagar Panaskar, who has more than 4 years of, who has 4 year degree in hotel management and garners more than 16 years of experience in hospitality industry. He is a proud owner of Creams and Crust bakery chain based in Pune, and he is successfully running a franchise model. He'll be sharing his real-time experience operating in this particular industry, and he is one of the important speakers. The reason being he has closely experienced the impact of COVID-19. So he will also mention about the production strategies that may be of tremendous help to people and the entrepreneurs working in hospitality sector. Over to Rashmi.
Our next speaker is Mr. Prathamesh Shetty, who is ACA qualified and is the Chief Financial Officer at Tamanna Hotels Private Limited. He has 6 years of experience in the hospitality industry. He'll be sharing his current financial strategies during COVID 19 and his suggestions after experiencing the current situation. Lastly, we have Mr. Rohit Nair, who is an insurance and financial planner, CEO of Ram Nair Insurance and Investment. He has 6 years of experience in the field of financial planning. He'll be sharing his knowledge about insurance and will also talk about strategic investment opportunities for SMEs worldwide. So let's begin with our talk show. My first question is to each one of you, starting with Mr. CA Anand Gavre. What is the impact of COVID 19 on the hospitality sector worldwide?
See, global pandemic coronavirus has led to a worldwide crisis with its effect on hospitality industries potentially much heavier than any other financial crisis. Earlier there was slowdown, but now there is a stoppage of complete business worldwide. There is no revenue at all. That's a very big difference compared to other slowdowns in the past. On business level, the impact of crisis have reached every industry in the world, with travel and tourism taking a massive hit as well as the hospitality industry. Most of the hotels and restaurants are empty, almost empty. Few of the hotels are serving to medical staff and doctors. This is how they are generating some revenue to some extent. The hospitality entities such as bed and breakfast, hostels, pubs, cafes, restaurants, bars, being a very small business type category, they are very likely to leave this crisis much worse than any other industry due to being intrinsically vulnerable to the change. Hospitality in general will have to consider a different way of doing business, especially considering the additional precautionary measures of hygiene and other things. It will take some time for hospitality sector to come back and regain the confidence.
So, my next question is to Mr. Prathavish Shetty. How can the hospitality sector revive after COVID 19? Also, what will be the trends in the hospitality industry post COVID 19?
First of all, I would like to thank Roshni and Srikant sir for inviting me to this talk show. So, hospitality plays a very important role in the travel and tourism industry. As we see worldwide, the hospitality, the travel and tourism industry contributes to about 9.5% of the global GDP and gives about 10% of the total employment. And if you talk about in India, it is about 9.2% of the GDP and 8.1% of total employment. And currently, the hospitality industries and the airline industries, the output has been decreased to 70 to 80% in the quarter 1 of 2020. So I should, what is our analysis is we have our 5 point factors wherein we can revive our hospitality industry. First is a highest standard of hygiene and safety measures. So higher standard of safety measures and the hygiene has to be followed by us in order to get the customers back and in order to get the customers confidence back in our business. The second one will be about technology. The technology is very important nowadays because everyone is going globally and everything is digital. We as a hotel owners, we have to be technology driven. Third is about the effective social marketing. See now, due to this lockdown, what has happened is everyone is at home and everyone is going digital. They are looking into the social medias and all the digital platforms. So what we are doing is we have to do an effective social marketing so that everyone is aware of our brand and they must know what we are doing it. And also about the we should be in constant touch with our customers, wherein the corporate clients there would be any requirements coming for our corporate clients, so we should be in constant touch with our customers. The fourth one is about the proper management of the finances and the cash flows. As we all know, in this 4 months period we didn't have any cash flows coming in. So the cash management of the cash flow is very important for us. We should analyze what is which expenses we have to expense, and the expenses which are not directly related to the sales we should postpone it directly. And the last one I would talk about is about the employee welfare. Employees are the pillars for our organization, so these are the difficult times for them as well. So what we should support our employees by giving some good facilities to them, by giving providing them food, by providing them accommodations, as well as by providing some monetary aspects which we can do it from our end. Now the trends would be in the hospitality industry would be the hygiene certifications and the technology driven. Now, as per the experts, if we see within 6 to 9 months, there would be a medication wherein the fear of death would be over and the domestic market would revive. And within 15 to 20 months, the vaccine would be out, and wherein the international traveling would be revived. So, what we say is we have to focus on our strengths. We should know what is our strength and we have to focus it and we can take it forward. Now, currently, this is not the time to earn, I must say. Now, this is a time to sustain. In future, the supply would be lower and the demand would be high once everything is back to normal. So, we have to be patient and we have to wait for the good times to come. Thank you.
Agar Panaskar, Would you like to add some points to the same question?
Sure, definitely. Thank you, Rosni and Srikanji, once again for inviting me here. See, every day we hear information about coronavirus and it's creating negative impact on travel and tourism. The hotel industry had to deal with different crises and viruses earlier as well. For example, SARS in 2003, there was a 50% decline in hotel bookings, which led to a drop of 9.4 million, with estimated between 30 billion to 50 billion. Despite that, the travel industry managed to register impressive growth of by 2006, with a total contribution of 5,160 billion to the global GDP in that year. The truth is, pandemic is temporary and shall pass, but we should continue to plan our future and also take steps to reduce the long-term damage by corona and drive a fast recovery. Now, the most important question is how. I have some interesting theories. Uh, in terms, we should attract millennials. This will be one of the trends. Where what are millennials? These are people born between 1981 to 1996. So probably between the age of 35 to so. Millennials are the most eager to get back their feet and explore the world after the coronavirus ends. They are also worried about the coronavirus pandemic, but they are also fearless and they want to try different experiences because of the desperation of staying at home for longer durations. They are expected to first start traveling once the restrictions are relaxed. So consider the exact ways how to them and include in your essential shape of business recovery plan. 90% of the millennials value brand authenticity over perfect and packaged messaging of the hotel. Appreciate the trust. The truth is the pandemic is temporary and shall pass. Thus, we should continue to plan for future and also take steps to reduce the long-term damage from coronavirus and drive a fast. Now, how is the most important question? How do we do that? So here are the interesting theories and the trends which maybe the hoteliers will look at is to attract millennials. Now, who are those millennials? These are the people who are born between 1981 to 1996. So they are called Generation Y, probably in the age group of 35 to 40. They are the most keen to get back to the exploration of world after they come. Millennials are expected to be the first to start traveling once the restrictions are relaxed. So consider the exact ways how to attract them and include them as an essential step in your business recovery plan. For example, 90% of the millennials value brand authenticity over perfect and packaged messaging of the hotel. They appreciate a high value on transparency, trust, and brand authenticity. In terms of coronavirus, communications, open and honest communications are very, very important. Another trend that a lot of hotels and resorts are looking at is the new word called staycations. They're also called workations. With the pandemic triggering layoffs and pay cuts, employees, especially millions who work from home, work longer and harder. In the same context, vacation seems to be like indulgence. But given the spike in depression, a short break now and then could be very, very important to all of them. Some people, due to strict travel restrictions and safety concerns, are okay vacationing at home because they cannot travel. But there's a huge urge to go out and breathe fresh air to come out of depression. Hotels, resorts, and homestays will be offering affordable tariffs, which include high-speed internet, quieter workspace, and conference room facility. Working from home is likely to continue even after the COVID-19 crisis abates. So millions of employees can afford to go on the staycations like this without worrying about taking leave. The pandemic hence hasn't just changed the nature of work, it has also changed the way people do their vacations. Other important factor could be attracting local guests. So wherever you are, try to attract and create demand for local people by creating, say, day picnic plans or activities which are only for a day long and it doesn't involve the longer stays or staying for 2 3 nights. This is only possible to people who are staying nearby. Like Prithvish rightly said, adopting to cloud technologies is something people should look at. Hoteliers have been using PMS for years. Now it's time to use PMS which are cloud based, where there is very less human interaction. Telecommunicating will take prime stage, and the number of people getting in touch with the guest will obviously go down. This is what most of the hoteliers will be looking at going forward. Also, this is again the right time to do the maintenance and renovation of your property, because maintaining it right now when there is no guest is going to become a challenge. So we should keep working on it side by side, and while renovating, the social distancing norms should be kept in mind completely, especially in the areas where the staff is working together, for long working hours. Also, focus on meal delivery from the restaurants. So any hotel or resort, they will take a front seat. Again, people will avoid coming and sitting in the restaurants, but they would definitely don't mind getting the room service. So there's very less contact of other people to the guest. Also, people should actually stay up to date on available forms of relief. When I say available forms of relief, um, another point to add will be focus on meal deliveries from the restaurants. So room service will take a front seat rather than people coming over to the restaurant and ordering food and getting in touch with staff. They would prefer to order room services in the resorts or hotels. Very important point, reconsider existing health and safety techniques, policies, and procedures. Given the contagious nature of the virus, it is crucial to have appropriate health and safety policies in place, especially for hotel businesses that rely on in-person interactions. In this context, hoteliers should promote proper health and hygiene measures such as self-service pay systems, orders through mobile apps, not non-contact service and order deliveries, complimentary hand sanitizer station at the entrance and exits, suspension of unnecessary workplace gatherings, readiness to staffing reductions will be very important to keep the checks and balances on your cost. Also, hoteliers should closely monitor employees' health conditions and take reasonable precautions to ensure that the illness does not spread within the employees and through employees to the guest. They should amend and reconsider and update their current procedures towards the staff and guests both. That's it from my side.
Those points seem to come to you from the observations from your current personal experience. So, Mr. Paniskar, how has the COVID-19 situation affected your bakery chain, Crimson Crust, and how have you managed to cope with it?
Major outsourcing of bakery products was done by hotels and restaurant cafes. So most of our supply was through hospitality, different sectors. As most of them are only operating on delivery model and very small menu, the requirement has gone down very considerably. You can say it is almost zero at the moment. Bakery products are always in demand for big events and catering, for catering industry. But again, because of norms, the weddings, events, and the entire catering orders have stopped. So that has taken a big hit on the bakery manufacturers who are doing the bulk production for these kinds of events, and hospitality supply. So demand of bakery products, especially cakes by young generation, again has taken a big hit. We call them Zoomers, the Generation Z. They are within the age group of 20, and all the colleges are shut and the education is online. So the footfall to the people coming to our bakery outlets has reduced by 80%. So we are sustaining on those 20% footfall people who are coming absolutely only when it is necessary. It's not anymore for fun and celebration. So we have to obviously reinvent the wheel, and to cope up with the situation, we analyze the product range and cut down on certain products which are not in demand as per the buyer behavior of customers. We made a short and crisp menu by selecting only few desserts, lesser cake flavor options, and very selected bread varieties. We only produce selected few products, which also helped us do effective cost control on staffing. And we could only make sure the necessary ingredients are available at all times in the market. We selected only those products. We also started tying up with residential complexes for bakery deliveries which are pre-orders. Started our own delivery system, which is only for people who order the products one day prior. So we could manage the logistics effectively. And like earlier, Pratish mentioned, social media, use of social media has helped a lot to reach out to the local customers who are in need of these interesting bakery products. We have also started outsourcing to small, as most of them are struggling to get the skilled labor, and they are not able to run on their own because of the volume of business going down considerably. We have also come up with an interesting concept called digital franchises, which can be explained in detail later part of the show. That's it
Okay.
from my side.
That is great. Strategizing and making your working methods flexible is amazing. It leads to innovation. And speaking of innovation, I have my next question for Mr. Prathavish Shetty. While managing Tamanna Hotels Private Limited, have there been any unique initiatives taken by you in this situation where people are not traveling or planning any events in hotels?
Yes. So Tamanna group of hotels comprises of three hotels. That's it's a two-star hotel, three-star hotel, and a four-star hotel. And we are also catering very corporate catering businesses. So currently, what we have done in this COVID-19 is we have tied up with various hospitals and various various government agencies for the quarantine centers which we have done. So now the patients from the hospitals have been transferred to our property for the quarantine for 10 days or 14 days as per the hospital's policy. And also we are getting some of the travelers from outside India, so that we have tied up with our government agencies for the quarantine centers. So as I told you earlier, the major five factors which are there to revive the industry. So we have obviously have done all those five factors. We have implemented those factors in Tamanna hotels. Firstly, I go about the hygiene. One, when the customer, every person who is entering our hotel, for example, let it be our guests, its employees, it's our vendors, everyone has to go with some process wherein our security personnel wearing the PPE kits will check the temperatures, will check the oxygen levels at the entry point of time. And it is very compulsory to each and every person entering the hotel. He has to wear the mask and the gloves. So these are very important safety measures which we are taking care of. Also, when the guest is coming in for the checking in, so what we do is first we sanitize his luggage, so that it has been disinfected at that point of time only. And once the guest checks out from the hotel, we keep a buffer of 24 hours. What happens is, in 24 hours, what we do is we disinfect all the surfaces in the rooms, wherein by using various virus disinfectants and various sodium chloride mixtures for the floors and all those things. We sanitize everything, and then after it 24 hours we give them the room, or they allot the room. Also, I said ki technology will be playing a very important role in this. What Tamanna has done is we already have a web check-in facility which we are using. So wherein what happens is, the guest, if he's at home or office or a hometown, what he would be doing is he has to fill the form and the documents. He had to upload the documents. Those documents would directly coming to our database. The front office guy has to issue the key. But now this further would be enhanced, wherein we are also tying up with various software companies, wherein the keys would also be integrated with the mobile phones of the customers, wherein directly the customers can go to the doors and directly unlock the doors. So these are some of the technology driven facilities which we are giving. Also, when the customer goes to the room, if he has to online order any of the food, or he has any requirements, we have kept one barcode which is there at our room, so that he just has to scan that barcode, and he will get all the information about our hotels, about our rooms, about the food what we provide, and he can order it from there directly. Also, in our restaurants, what happens is we have made it very contactless. So in the sense, when the guest comes to our restaurant for having dinner or lunch, what happens is the customer has to just scan a barcode which is placed at our tables. So that barcode has, if when the customer scans that barcode, what happens is it gives an option for the customer to just read a menu, or he can order it as well. If he is not comfortable with ordering it, so he can just call the captain, and he can obviously ask what are the ingredients in it. So these are the ways wherein we make it very contactless, wherein there is no contact of our staff with the customers. So these are the good initiatives which we have done from our end. And for this we have also tied up with many companies, where it is tied up with Zomatos, we are tied up with Paytms, Dineouts, all the people wherein who are in this business. Also, the important revenue generation which was there currently for us was in the month of June and July, was the marriage functions. So currently in Maharashtra, what was happening is the marriage functions were limited to 50 people. Now it is limited to only 20. So what we did is we started it with the marriage functions with 50 people, and we showcased how we can do or conduct a marriage with all the safety measures in place. We did a video for that, and we uploaded that thing on our Facebook pages, all the Instagram pages, so that the people can have a look to how do we do marriages. And we took the permission from the local police stations for the same. And by doing this, there was a good mouth marketing as well, and there was a good social marketing as well, so that we got many marriage functions. And currently also, today also, there is a function which is going on, so we have a good flow of functions which is going on, so that the revenue is coming. It is not enough, but it is just enough for to cover the variable cost which we will doing it. And also, as I said, this is a social media is a main area where we have to focus on. So we are marketing in all our websites, on our Facebook pages, on Instagram pages, LinkedIn's. And we are also coming up with the franchisee agreements, wherein we have got some contacts, wherein many people are asking us, why are you not going with the franchise agreements? So now we are just looking after the franchise agreements, wherein if anyone is interested in taking the franchisee of Tamanna, then we are offering it with the terms and conditions of Tamanna Hotels. Because as you know, there is no cash burn with this. If we go into leased, if you are growing, if you are going to lease terms, there is a cash burn of rents as well as deposits. So this is the ideal model for everyone of every hotels. So these are some of the things which we have done at Tamanna to stabilize the finances at our end. Thank you.
Those are some really great initiatives. I hope our viewers could learn from you as to how to be innovative in challenging times. Challenging times might even ask for flexibility in the production strategies. So, Mr. Sagar Panaskar, what have been the production strategies which have benefited you in this crisis?
Like I mentioned earlier, as far as the bakery industry goes, we have kind of innovated a lot of products which are currently suitable. Like people are not able to eat fast food outside. So what we started is we started pizza bases and burger buns and stuff like that, which is not available in the market for people who are craving for it. So people started doing it at home, and there's a huge demand for these kind of products because the normal bread is anyways available, but then you're not getting those fancy cafe items anywhere, and people are scared to order online as well. So because they're not knowing the source and hygiene conditions available at the production house, they are little worried about ordering it online. So everybody, the baker in their mind has got, they have immersed, and everybody's baking at home. So we only started providing the tools for baking at home, and it worked very, very well. So there's been a lot of demand for those type of products, and the desserts which are again people are missing. Those are very difficult to do at home. So there are simple desserts which everybody can do. We tried avoiding those, and we came up with interesting desserts which are difficult to make at home. So people would order them through bakeries like us. So that was something we had to change, and it has worked very well so far. And to increase the production, we started this digital franchises concept, wherein we are offering people to only generate the orders through social media platform, and we are allocating one specific area to them. They gather the orders and give it to us. We produce and deliver directly. So it is like a digital platform where they don't have to worry about the rent and deposits and light bills and keeping the staff on board. So no fixed cost, but a definite income only by generating the orders in their local area, by tying up with their society, different societies in their own local areas. So this has worked wonders for us.
I'm sure our viewers have learned a lot about innovation and production strategies. Now, the next major issue is financial strategizing. So, Mr. Prathamesh Shetty, what are the financial strategies inculcated by you for Tamanna Hotels Private Limited?
Yes. See, as we all know, hospitality is a capital intensive industry. So, as per the recent development during the COVID times, Mr. Kamath from Kamath Hotels has written a letter to our Prime Minister saying, ki, why is the hospitality industry not included in the infrastructure industry? See, the difference is in the hospitality industry, what happens is currently it is only like a normal business wherein we get the loan for only 7 years of tenure. But in infrastructure industry, if it is classified as an infrastructure industry, we get a loan for a tenure of around 10 to 15 years. So there is a difference in the EMI structure. There is a difference in interest rates also. So this is what we are supporting, and we urge all our hospitality fellows to also support this initiative so that this gets implemented as soon as possible. Also, in India there have been various financial packages which have been given for which have been declared for the SMEs. So the main package would be, which has been benefited to many of the SMEs, would be a 3 lakh crore package which has been given as a guarantee by the government to the banks. So many of the SMEs, I suppose, would have taken this, and this amount of the amount of the scheme which is been received by the business houses is 20% of the loan outstanding. So this is a big amount which has been got by the business houses for against these schemes. So in Tamanna, what we are doing currently is we are just looking into our cash flows. As I said, cash flow is very important. So what we did, we analyzed what are our variable costs and what all costs which we can reduce currently. Also, as I said, we are into corporate sectors, corporate catering businesses also. So what happens currently now, as we are into a IT segment, what happens is more than 80% of the people in IT currently are working from home. That means only 20% of the people are coming at the office and having their lunches or having their dinners. So we had our corporate catering agreements with those companies, but we saw that there is as this will go for a long time. Now we have analyzed that this is not profitable for us currently. So we have obviously stopped those areas wherein we won't be making the profit for the unforeseen future or a 1 year period of time. So we have stopped those agreements currently for during a current COVID period. Also, we have the major chunk that we have to look in is the collection of our receivables from our customers and also from the government agencies. So we have rigorously looked into it, so that the government agencies are obviously they are funding us and they are giving us the receivables as soon as possible, but we have to follow up from our end and also for the customers, because for every client now the cash flow is very important. So we have to follow up. So we did the follow up, and we have received a lot of funds from there. See, we are also looking at the working capital requirements also, because as we say, working capital is very important. So we are also we tie up with the various NBFCs and various banks for the working capital. At least there is some requirement wherein we can pay everyone in time. We can pay our employees in time. We can pay to the government agencies in time. So working capital is also very important. So we are working into it currently. And it is very important ki we should be very proactive with the decisions of the government, wherein we should see ki what government is giving us the benefits, and we should be implementing the same benefits in our organizations. For example, the government has given various schemes wherein the government has given us the PF schemes, wherein the PF is paid by the government. So we have adopted those areas wherein there is less cash outflow from our side. So these are some of the financial strategies what we have done looking into the COVID situations. Thank you.
That indeed was a very insightful interaction from Sagar and Prathavish. I'm totally delighted to know the strategies that you guys are doing. And what is most important thing that has come up to me is innovation. So as it is said, the tough times actually make you innovate, and I'm rightly seeing that happening. So having said that, it is very important for the companies to do a proper financial planning, proper financial strategies. So my next question would be to Anand sir, saying, so what would be the financial challenges for the hospitality industries going forward, and what steps should be taken to overcome these financial challenges?
Let us first discuss about the challenges. There are a lot of financial challenges. Just mention a few. Are like zero or negligible revenue for a few months or maybe almost coming full year. This is the first biggest challenge. Then the cost of operations such as salaries, maintenances, which constitute larger part of the OPEX for hospital industries are not fully controlled. Hospitality industry is highly capital intensive. It requires huge capital investments in assets and working capital. As such, the capital infusion is unavoidable for every such unit. Serving existing debt will be a big problem for all the units due to very less generation of cash surplus. There will be defaults on loans. So again, raising the debt going forward will be another challenge. Importantly, there shall be higher cost of maintenance due to hygiene and safety norms. Even with social distancing norms in place for some time, there shall be lesser supply of seats, leading to higher staff cost and lesser revenue. Again, when units will open in future, everybody will fight for business, leading to price wars. Majority units have laid off their staff, so there will be huge shortage of talent, especially staff, chefs. So this will again lead to higher staff cost. Pre-COVID, millennials and business people were the drivers of the industry. They constitute more than 80% of the total customers and spendings. Now, post-COVID, there shall be some financial pressures on millennials, which will lead to less spending on the hospitality, at least for some time. Business travelers will also travel a bit less, leading to again low revenue for hospitality. So there will be change in the spending habits also. But there is a slight brighter side to this industry. Is that one of the motivations behind their savings is to utilize? I mean, there means millennials. No, the motivation behind their savings is to utilize the capital, the savings for travel and in the future. Now, this has given a chance for independent hotel brands to deeply understand the change in the expectations and consumption patterns. And also assume the coming price wars. Millennials are going to set their own rules and push the brands. Market strategies have to serve what they want. For their spending, millennials are going to smartly choose experiences that are value for money, sustainable, healthy, and safe. Hoteliers need to act wisely as promoting dramatic price cuts will impact businesses and quality experiences in long run. The challenge for hotel brands now is to gain confidence in MICE, that is meetings, conferences, events, and weddings by creating suitable environments for new practices and flourish in the coming times. As you know, Prathavish and Sagar have shared their experience, how they have changed their business models, and everybody is now trying to survive. Most test would be just to survive in this financial crisis. Since the crisis is of high, medium, or low intensity in different markets, the geographies and the market-wise approach is required to create a new targeted guest profiles. You can't have the same guest profile pre-COVID, after COVID. The hotel marketers need to devise disruptive marketing strategies with a strong digital presence to ensure large visibility and a great reputation. Some of these ideas or the real-time experience Pratvish has already shared with us. With the right assessment, brands can design incentives and packages for alternative markets to improvise profit margin. Healthy cash flows will also demand tighter cost controls. So, in an era of competitiveness, the current market crisis has also made us realize the power of collaboration. Both within and outside the industry, collaboration is going to play a vital role. Thank you.
When it comes to the collaboration and when it comes to the financial stability, the next question comes to me is that would insurance be playing a crucial role in the financial challenges that the hospitality companies are facing? So, keeping that in light, I would like to ask Mr. Rohit Nair, how does insurance play a role in this COVID-19 situation? And would you suggest the SMEs to take insurance as their main backup plan uh, in this tourism and hospitality industry, as many businesses are facing trouble operating at their best?
Right, absolutely right. So, first of all, thank you very much for getting me on your forum on this talk show. I think the first thing that everyone should know is insurance was made by the rich, for the rich, to stay rich. That was the entire concept of insurance, right? And hospitality as an industry, as everyone already has suggested, is capital intensive. You need to have a lot of capital put in to make the industry run or make your business run, right? So insurance does play a very vital role when it comes to this. Now, in our case, uh, pandemic of COVID leads to risk of life, right? So that is where people look at insurance. In our case, because there are people involved who runs the industry as hospitality, because everything, though I put it online, I will still need some people to be there practically serving my guests, whatever be the business model that I am in, right? There will be a human contact coming into this, and because there is a risk of life, people are now more conscious, I would say, of understanding how can they secure that portion of it. That is where insurance can come into place, where it will give a safeguard to people in terms of mental and I would say financial domain of theirs. So when it comes to this hospitality part of it, I would say ki if people know that they are financially secure, that trust and the courage, I would say, to be out there and still be on the front line doing their jobs will be much more effective. So I feel yes, insurance does play a important role here, and for SMEs that is like the baseline of it. Like even if you look at it in a personal finance domain, also what we tell everyone is your base has to be strong, and your base of income can go if there is loss of money due to medical issues, right? So a lot of money can go there. So if someone has that covered or that insured, people can then use that money and focus it to actually put it in the market and be more competitive and be out there. So yeah.
All right, so having said that, the expenses may rise due to COVID-19 pandemic. So, would you suggest the employers to give mediclaim facilities to all their employees? I mean, how does giving life insurance or mediclaim to the employee help the employer? Would this play a strategic role in terms of growth of their business post pandemic?
I think you are very on point with that one. It is a strategic move too, but yes, it'll have. I would say there are two benefits to it. One, it increases the retention of your employee, because most of us know in the hospitality industry, people are from various parts of the world, and it is a worldwide phenomenon. It is not just in India per se. Even if you go to the US, you will find people who are working in that industry are from different parts of the world. Yes, so I would say yes. One, it would help in retention, because that person knows that my employer is taking care of me and my family when it comes to the medical costs or insurance. If something happens to me, then what for my family? That is taken care. So I feel that is happening there. So and it reduces the expense on the employee. Sorry, on the employer. imagine someone in a SME has like 150 or 200 employees, and many of them are now facing financial crunch, and who are they going to come up to for asking for help? The employer. And if the employer starts shelling out money to each and every employee of theirs because they are in financial crunch, the employer will have to go in a major financial crunch after that, right? So instead of spending 20 lakh rupees, if he spends that 20,000 and gets them insured, he's at a far better place, and he has a far more a chance of recovering back and hitting the market with full speed, because his employees are the backbone of his industry, right? They'll help him to push that. So yes, I think that is what it is going to do. And what also is there as a strategic move can be, one I told you about the retention, the other one is the premiums that these guys are going to pay as employers can go as expense, right? Which in turns will show it in their profit books. So for the employer, it has two sides, and both of them are in profit for him as of now. That's it.
This question is going to be a combination question for you, Rohit, and Anand sir. So, what could be some strategic investment opportunities for the small and mid-sized enterprises? Let's not keep India as the only market in sight. We can consider the worldwide scenario. So, what do you reckon some of the best investment strategies?
To be very honest, there will be lots of opportunities in SMEs worldwide, especially into hospitality industry. There shall be a shift from the way operations of the hospital industries are carried out pre-COVID than post-COVID. It will also create completely new opportunities, not only directly hospitality segment like hotels or restaurants, but it's support industries as well. For example, new hygiene requirements will require different skill sets, different tools, different quality support, transport, different type of food, etc. So with every such big problems, the new opportunity will come into existence. Now it is up to every SME to tap that opportunity, visualize that opportunity, and encash that opportunity. With such totally new ecosystem, there will be financial support system as well, or maybe collaborations, or maybe acquisitions will take place. But of course, there is no doubt all the SMEs will overcome this problem. But you need to think very differently and positively. And with every such kind of crisis, you will see a different opportunity. You need to identify that and focus on that. Thank you.
I would like to add to what Anand sir said. So, every problem comes with a solution is what I completely believe in. And today, when there is this situation which has come up, I can see so many opportunities that SMEs can actually get into. Like there's no limit, because if you've seen, market has come up with all these new sectors in SME itself. So there's sanitization, which was never looked at as a sector per se. There are so many people now investing in that business so that they can sustain. I would say not sustain. Now they are now actually looking at making it more of a market dominant in their particular area at least. So masks. It was something that would have not been thought unless and until there was a toxic gas and in a movie scene where the actors or actress will use a mask for that per se. But now you see the population of the country, let's say even 100 crore people in India for that matter, would want to use a mask, right? And per person, there are two people who want to buy it. Can you see the opportunity of business that one simple mask as a product has? So I think for SMEs, this is become the best opportunity time. They just have to look at it in a different perspective. So yes, it will also help in branding, I will say, for people who have hotels, and if they have the branding on their mask for all the visitors or all the people who are going to come down to their hotel, they can do free advertisement now. They don't have to actually put up banners. And because people are so much into social media, they are going to post, they are going to tag it. So small things like these are going to come up. The online segment of business models, which Sagar shared a while ago, these are opportunities where the capital incentive intensiveness has gone down. When you're going to go do something which is online, you are reducing the manpower actually coming into play. So you can have good heads sitting there and helping you run the business in a more productive manner. So I think it is definitely going to be a very vast variety of portfolio that we'll be seeing in the next 5 years when it comes to people as SMEs investing. And in the hospitality sector, I am very sure they're going to use all the small segments like sanitization, like masks, like, everything that will be kept in the room, hygiene, making, is going to be one of their bigger business source, I would say, than just giving them food and lifestyle experience over there. So that thing will come into play is what I feel.
Okay, so if I agree to you, then soon we will see some sanitizers and masks with Tamanna Hotel's brand name. So when we look at the general perspective in the small and mid-sized enterprises, we see a lot of entrepreneurs coming together, maybe two or more partners coming together and starting a business. So generally, when there are two or more partners in a business, how do we hedge the risk of business and clash of partners in in situations like the COVID-19 times? And if there is a sudden death of one partner, it becomes difficult for another partner to handle the situation. So, what could be your inputs to such a situation there?
I think you have answered the question in the question. So I'll just elaborate it for everyone. So generally, when it comes to industry like this, there's a lot of capital that has to be coming, and there are 4 or 5 people who come together and put up the hotel or put up their hospitality or whatever service that they're going to provide, right? Now, what you said, let me give it in a simple example instead of me illustrating it in terms of words. Let's say there are 5 people, each person puts in, say, a crore rupee, and 5 crore is the actual business proposal. They put it up, say 5 years down the line, they are doing good, and their valuation right now is, say, 100 crores, right? And one of these partners gets into this COVID thing, and let's say he is no more in the picture. Now, there are so many things that come into play. One, the stakeholding that these 5 people have will actually shift. There are 2 ways it can shift. If he has a second generation in line, he would want to pitch in now, because now the 1 crore investment that they had today, because of a 100 crore valuation, it is 10 crores per se in terms of stake. It is very difficult to have a liquidity of 10 crores and give it out to that family and say, okay, no problem. Instead of 5 partners, we'll run it with 4 partners now. And this is your 10 crores, and we'll be doing it like that. There's no assurance, I would say, first, that the other 4 partners are going to give 10 crores to your family. So that is a bigger question mark. Second, the entire shift that I told you on the stakeholding, the roles also change. Roles and responsibilities which all these 5 people had distributed between them and they were doing it changes dramatically, right? And someone who could, for example, if I was one of the partners, the result I could get because of my speciality, someone who is going to come from my family, maybe the wife or maybe the child, will not be able to deliver that same result, right? So the entire game shifts, right? So what generally I tell people over here in this situation is, if they have something called as a partnership insurance, a very simple product. Your company valuations is 100 crores today. Per person valuations is 10 crores today, right? If you have a 10 crore partnership insurance for all the partners, and the premium is going to be paid by the company itself, so it is going to go in their expense sheet and then show in profits. If something happens to one of the partners, this partner is rest assured that his family is going to get 10 crores. Second, they can have a MOU written down. If something like that happens, we will divide it into 4 people. You will get that 10 crores through the insurance thing. So the structure and nothing happens to the company as such. So that doesn't shake financially. So yes, I will definitely recommend, if people have not looked at it in that angle till now, this becomes one of the things that people should do to safeguard themselves, because yes, we say that there is no vaccine that is there now, but once the vaccine is out, we'll all get back to normal. But there is always only known fact that we have, that is the date of birth and not the date of death. So we having something like this will have a very drastic change in their confidence of working in the business itself. That's it.
So as I heard Anand saying a lot about collaborations, and there will be a lot of companies coming together in the future post COVID-19, and I hope the vaccine comes very soon and people start collaborating. So keeping that in mind, Anand sir, can you please share your some insights about what can be the financial strategies, and will merger or acquisitions be one of the good solutions for the small and mid-sized enterprises?
See, I would let us discuss about the good strategies. Okay, the first strategy everybody knows is the cost controls. You have to conserve your cash, keep some cash in hand if it is possible. One. Second, the new customer acquisitions. Third, the new to generate the revenue from the assets by leveraging every part of the vehicle under every part of the property. If you have like 100 room hotel or large piece of restaurant, you can't just keep 10 chairs or 10 tables on there and run the restaurant. No, you have to identify the possible utilization of each and every feet of that property. Fourth, in my opinion, would be to focus and market hygiene standards. Best strategy would be just to service anyhow. You have to sell, you have to earn the cash. You have to identify your own cash flow strategies, and simple is take your cash, somebody's cash into your own bank account, no other solution. Again, once the market stabilizes, the debt or equity options will automatically come up. Debt at this moment is slow on this segment because there is no cash flow, visualization immediately. And so is the equity, because equity will be there only when there is a certainty in the market, and when the debt is not, of- you know, debt is not available for certain cost, then equity will come into picture. But now both of them will be there only when the market stabilized. Again, merger and acquisition will also be there once market is in a good shape. Merger acquisitions are unavoidable into this segment because you can leverage a lot of opportunities, like some brand having good properties, some brand having good customer base, some brands or some businesses having some different business model. So everybody will think of having cost savings and all, but of course that will take some time. It will not be happening so immediately. But merger and acquisition will be a good solution to some of the issues such as brands or hotels, but not for everything. It will take some time to stabilize, and then it will be clear. Thank you.
So, are there going to be any tax benefits for the SMEs from the governments? Let's say Indian government, for example. So, would there be any upcoming financial scheme that will boost the morale of the companies?
Shrikant, tax benefits. It's very interesting. Huh? What is the use of tax benefit if there is no profit or there is no tax liability only? I mean, so to take this benefit of any tax incentive, there has to be some profit first, right? If there will be some profit only when there is some revenue. If there is no revenue, there is no chance of having profits. Okay, I mean, Prathavish can tell because he runs a hotel. I mean, big restaurants, and he's into this kind of industry for a long period now. So, but if but now, what I personally think, next two financial years, there shall be very challenging for everyone in this industry, and I don't see any immediate tax benefit also. So I don't see any tax incentive. However, there are existing some of the tax benefits, especially in Indian tax laws, to set up the new, like 100-bed hotels or like that. No tax benefits for restaurants, but those are into certain peculiar geographies, not everywhere. Again, the like every other federal government in India has also offered stimulus package like whopping US dollar to 67 billion. It will be, it will take some time to stabilize this sector. This entire money will percolate into every part of the Indian economy, and because hospitality is more of a discretionary expenditures. It is not a necessity. Some part of it may be a necessity, like basic restaurants or all that part. So it will take some time to stabilize this sector. So recently Government of India also announced that it is again considering a new, trying to consider to offer another few packages, but nothing is clear right now. Let us see what they are going to offer. Thank you.
Great. Now, I would just hand over the discussion to Roshni. This has been wonderful interacting with Anand sir, Rohit sir, and your insights are terrific. Sagar sir and Prathavish, it was really nice to get some real-time information. Over to Roshni now.
This interaction has been quite insightful. We learned about production and financial strategies, insurance, merger and acquisition opportunities, which now brings me to interview my co host, Mr. Srikant Adhavle, about marketing and leadership strategizing. So, Mr. Srikant Adhavle, what marketing strategies would you suggest to the businesses in the hospitality industry in this situation?
Honestly speaking, this part has already been covered by Prathavish. Pretty much in a better way than I could explain. And Sagar sir, he's already an experienced person. So yeah, I would just add to that saying the digital platforms could be the best way to to market the products. And as said by Rohit a little while ago, that every problem comes with a solution. Of course, COVID-19 is a problem as of now, but let's take this as an opportunity to reset ourselves, reboot ourselves. Ourselves mean everyone, not just the hospitality companies, but yeah, for the hospitality companies, they have the time to re-establish themselves. They can develop their own network, and how can they do that? It's simply going through one-to-one communication with their existing customers. They can build a rapport. They can focus on creating their virtual identity, try and find out the options that are available online, maybe online food delivery applications, for example, Zomato in India, Swiggy. So they can have a tie-up with them, and they can create a good awareness about their services post pandemic. They can create a lot of database of the customers. They can connect one to one. They can create their own focus groups on social media platforms like Facebook or LinkedIn. They can create a good fan following on Twitter. Once situation is normal, they can simply start bombarding their advertisement on these platforms. And trust me, this is not going to cost them much. If they have to go for any conventional marketing methodologies, for example, advertisement in the newspaper, maybe pamphlet distribution and all, this will cost them a little more than what social media would cost. If they have 1,000 or more than 1,000 people following on their social media platform, one post that'll reach to the 100 1,000 people. So this will definitely increase their online presence. So I would recommend them to focus on online marketing strategies more. Create your own brand as of now. Take this pandemic as an opportunity to reset or reboot yourself.
The leadership strategizing to be necessary for this crisis?
Yes, of course. No business runs without a leader. Leader would be the only person driving the business in difficult times like this. The owner is not necessarily be a leader. It can also be a manager who is taking care of the employees, who's taking care of the operations. They can also be a good leaders, and an organization can only be successful if it is backed by good leaders. So definitely yes, the leadership would play an important role, and strategizing leadership can be a good concept going forward. Now, what do I mean by strategizing leadership is uh, doing good leadership development programs. They can have a good communication within themselves. They can focus on the C's of leadership, such as clarity, confidence, and a good communication. They can also build calmness among themselves. Difficult situations like this would definitely create problems within the organization. There would be conflict of interest. There would be a crisis of thoughts. I would say, instead of saying fights between the partners or leaders, there would be crisis of thought.
So keeping calm in such times would definitely be an option for them. The owners have to be calm because nothing is under control. So they're likely to lose their calmness. They're likely to be panicked because of financial crisis. They're likely to be panicked because of the situations not getting under control. So being calm, being confident would definitely help them. They should also be more effective in terms of making the decisions. They should assess the situation first, anticipate what is going to be in future. They should have anticipation based on their short term, mid term, and long term situations, and they can assess the conditions and they can have a good decision making uh, based on the situation. Their focus should be more on the human issues as of now rather than operational and financial crisis, because as of now the whole humanity is under uh, the whole humanity is under a crisis, and this pandemic has put a lot of people under pressure. There are a lot of anxiety issues. So definitely a good leader can help people come out of the situations like this. The employees need a moral support from the owners or the managers. A lot of people are working from home, but for them the schedule is like go to bed, wake up, start working on a computer, again have food, go to bed, sleep, wake up, get back to the computer. So the moral of people is actually getting down, and in the hospitality industry there is not enough work, so they don't have work from home option as of now. So the situation is getting even worse and frustrating. So I would suggest them to interact with their employees, interact with their staff. As Anand sir said, getting quality employees in future would be a costly affair. So building a rapport, keeping trust among the employees would be another task that the leadership should also focus on. Thank you.
I would like to thank all our guest speakers to join us for this talk show. Thank you for sparing your time and connecting with us. And now is the time for our viewers to interact with our guest speakers. Comment your questions for your desired speaker and they will answer the question now.
Yeah, viewers can shoot their questions to Sagar and Prathavish more because they may have operational issues like others. And yeah, for those who need a good financial advisory, Rohit sir and Anand sir would be the right persons.
20 for a view.
So here's your time.
Thank you for watching this video. We hope you gained some insights and fruitful solutions to your questions.